So this is a radical time, and it's a very scary time. It's a time with tremendous anxieties, greater than what we saw in 1979, 1980, when we had 14% inflation, American hostages in Iran, of quadrupling of oil prices. This is a very scary time. And until I see the economic and political environment improve, I'm going to expect investors to continue buying gold and silver, and I'm going to expect gold and silver prices to continue rising.
Silver lining in radical times with Monex and CPM Group.
We started off the year with our report, Silver Lining in Radical Times. There is a reason for the silver lining. Look where silver is today. And how rad is silver at $48 silver? I think $47.90 something, I think, today. But almost $48 silver again, $3,900 gold, hitting again another record all-time high. Seeing platinum over 1,600 here over the last week, I believe. Just an exciting time for precious metals. And you've been talking about the things that would get us here and keep us here, and really interested in now that we're this high in the market, where do you think we're going and what should we expect?
It's interesting because, there are a lot of people who now are getting very nervous. When do I sell? When do I take profits? When do I hedge? And our view is that it's hard to say where the prices stop rising. People are looking at $4,000 gold, they're looking at $50 silver, but those are just numbers on charts. And what we say is the decision that the price is going to stop rising has to do with an improvement in the economic and political environment. If you look at the dynamics, gold and silver prices, platinum and palladium to some extent too, are rising because investors are buying the metal. They're buying the metal because they're really concerned not only about the political environment and the economic outlook, but also the social fabric of their communities and societies and nations. So this is a radical time, and it's a very scary time. It's a time with tremendous anxieties, greater than what we saw in 1979, 1980, when we had 14% inflation, American hostages in Iran, of quadrupling of oil prices. This is a very scary time. And until I see the economic and political environment improve, I'm going to expect investors to continue buying gold and silver, and I'm going to expect gold and silver prices to continue rising. So I'm not sure where they stop in terms of the price level, but I am pretty sure that they won't stop until things get better economically and politically. And, I hate to say it because I try to be neutral to optimistic, but I don't see the economic and political environment improving in the near future.
The dollar looks like it's consolidating lows. You and I talk often about how there's not a direct correlation between the dollar and gold, even though the perception out there is that there's some sort of a negative correlation all the time. But that dollar, if it's consolidating lows and has a chance to rally, does that mean we're going to rally with the precious metals, or will that bring a little bit of a dip that we can buy into?
It probably, well, there could be a dip in gold prices at some point, but it doesn't necessarily correlate with a stronger dollar. The dollar and gold often rise together in radical times. They rose together in 1979, going into the peak of gold in 850. They fell together from 1983 into 1980. I'm sorry, 1980 to 1983. So they'll rise and fall together because gold and the dollar and silver are the things that people go to when they're really worried. So it's not unusual to see the dollar showing strength and gold prices rising at the same time when you have this level of uncertainty and elevated risk and anxiety on the part of investors.
Well, we're heading into what looks like a government shutdown, so more uncertainty, and hopefully that'll tee up some information for the next time we get together, Jeffrey. I remind our viewers and our listeners to call into Monex, talk to an account representative, get your free report, Silver Lining in Radical Times. Again, Jeffrey, you've been on the money with this information at the beginning of the year as it's unfolded, and we're thankful for that info.